Today I'm going to show you a simple but effective routine for the splits, both the middle splits and the front splits. I'm going to take you through one follow along round where I'm going to keep the timings correct. But I suggest you repeat it 2, 3 or 4 times. Also, if you're training towards handstands, I recommend at the end you just warm your wrists up and then just kick up to a split handstand and compare both the front splits and your wider straddle position. So you can see the difference between the stretching version and the handstand version. So first of all, let's assess where we're at. So I'm going to do a front split position. So I'm going to do an active position. So I'm just going to see how far out I can take my foot in that direction and how far out I can take my foot in that direction. Okay, and hold, ideally like 5-10 seconds, show control. If you're really wobbly, you could hold on to something. Obviously the same with the other side. Then for middle splits, I would look at open hips, so no hinge, no bend forwards, and closed hip, so when we actually do closed. So first, open hip, how far can you go down, keeping the hips open? And then closed hip, you can put your hands down on the floor now if you need to with this one, or hands onto a box. Okay, let's just first jump in and stretch and open up the hip flexor. So because I'm on a hard floor, I need to put my knee up. It's good to elevate it slightly as well because we're going into a deep lunge position. So I've elevated the right foot and I've got the left foot forwards. I'm going to take the hip down as far as I can in this direction and I'm trying to keep my torso as upright as possible. So I'm just going to do 3 sets of 10 seconds. So I'm going to go down into the position, pull down as deep as I can for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back out, and then we're going to do that another 2 times. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once more, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Obviously, same on the other side. If you have a dog, just make sure that you stroke her in between. So again, upright torso, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back out, rest. Back again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And come back out. Okay, now for the hamstrings, I'm going to slightly elevate the foot. I'm going to have the hip directly on top of the knee. I'm going to flex the foot backwards. So I'm locking the knee backwards and then keeping the hip on top of the back knee. I'm going to hold down as deep as I can. So either try and get fingers to the shins, fingers to the floor. Jesus, Rosie. Or try and pull your head to your toe. So by doing that, I can pull back on the foot if I'm flexible enough to do that. So there's a 10-second hold there, then I'm going to come back out, deep breath in, and then go again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just make sure you're locking the knee backwards to that one. Same again, swap sides. Rosie, you're covering me in hair. She's molting at the moment. Okay, Okay, lock that knee backwards, hip on top of the back knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that front split active position. I'm going to hold there for 10 seconds, as deep as I can. Then I'm going to lower down. You might need to use your hands onto a box, your hands onto the floor, or hold some sticks. But then you want to slide down to a passive position and do another 10 seconds there. So sliding down as deep as you can. So already you should feel quite a difference between that assessment. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to put the back knee down, take the back foot as far as I can, try not to twist. So I'm trying to keep this foot in line, trying to keep this hip facing forwards. We're holding there for 10 seconds, that's 5 already, 4, 3, 2. Try to keep the torso as upright as you can. 1, and time, and then back out. I will swap legs now, so I'm going to do the other leg. So I'm alternating legs with this one. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands on the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So middle splits is even simpler. I'm just going to do middle splits. So I'm going to hold a 30-second position with the open hip, and then I'm going to hold 30 seconds at the bottom. So we go as deep as we can now in this position. I'm going to put the timer on as I start to slide down into there. I'm just going to hold there. So trying to get the hip as open as possible, so pushing the hip forwards. Try and keep it as upright as you can with the torso. Now I have socks on a slippery-ish floor. So that's going to make things a little bit more interesting. In some ways it's easier because I can slide out. In some ways it's harder because I can't stop myself from sliding out. Okay, 5 more seconds. And time. So now I'm going to place my hands down on the floor. You could put your hands on a box. And I'm just going to keep sliding now with the open hip. And again, 30 seconds. And time. And then I'm going to come back out. Shake the hips out. And then I'm just going to repeat the circuit 2 more times. So I'm going to go back into that hip flexor stretch. This one I'm going to make a little bit different. So this time I'm going to lift the foot up as well. So I'm going to lift this back foot up, so it's going to engage more of the quad, more into the rec fem and the hip flexor. So I'm going to try and go as deep as I can there. Do the same thing for the 10-second holds. Now you don't have to do this. You don't have to bring in the rec fem. You could put your foot up against the wall as a different option. But I would try both. Now I personally know my rec fem is actually quite long, so I'm going to leave that alone. It's my hip flexor, my psoas, which is much tighter. So I'm going to try and really delve back into that like we did on the first set. But have a little play with that one, see what your quad hip flexor flexibility is like compared to each other, and see if you can work out which one you need to do. If not, try a bit of both and see what happens. And again, I'm doing a 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off for each side. Now for the single leg hamstring, you could do exactly the same again, or have a go at elevating the foot. So this is going to work and dump into the hamstring a little bit more. I find I can get more on top of the position here. So into there, obviously reaching down as much as you can. So you might be tight there, you could put your hands on something, or if you're flexible enough, you can come down, you can grab hold of the foot. Now obviously this is going to wind the calf up as well if I grab the foot and bring it back towards me. And I'm doing the same thing again, 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, breathe. Come back into the position for the 3 sets, so you accumulate 30 seconds. Same again on the other side. And the cool thing is, because you're actually doing the thing, so now I'm going to slide into my active split position, I'm assessing myself between each set. So obviously the more sets you do, the more pictures and comparisons you're going to have. And you'll be able to compare 1, 2, 3, 4 sets, see how that affects the body. So I've only done 2 sets today, so I'm going to see the difference now between that first one and the second. I'm going to slide down to my active position first. Then the passive position, hip flexors still hold me back a little bit. Same on the other side. And then passive. And then the same for your middle split position. Open hip, 30 seconds in that position. This one's probably definitely worth videoing from the side as well to see whether you do lean forwards. Okay, and then closed hip position. These lines are good as well, so I can see where my feet are relative to my hip. So I'm a big fan of keeping everything as simple as possible when you're doing your stretching and your training, and repetition is the key with consistency. So you're training multiple times per week, keeping it simple, keeping it basic, try to do the real thing as much as possible. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks guys.